Good evening. This is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. Rains which fell for more than 12 hours in Handeni and Kilindi district have caused floods which destroyed a bridge linking the two districts as well as Manyara and Morogoro regions. The residents in the area have called on the government to intervene by putting up a temporary bridge.
We depend on this bridge for everything, such as transportation of farm produce. This bridge connects Kilindi and Handeni, so this has affected revenue collection. If it is possible, the government could ask the army to bring us a temporary bridge so we can carry on with trade. There is a road which is under Tarura, but should work with TAN road so they can fix it.
And the government has said that it does not support sanctions imposed by the US and European Union against Zimbabwe as they are violating human rights and will undermine the country's economic and social development. Addressing a special forum on economic sanctions and the fate of Africa's development, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, Professor Palamagamba Kabudi, said Tanzania will stand by Zimbabwe in making sure the sanctions are removed.
Sanctions, especially those purporting to have extraterritorial effect, are used as a routine foreign policy tool against each and every state, government or entity. But the most prolific sanctions unilaterally determines on the basis of questionable evidence.
The government of China has made a statement today in Beijing that released by our spokesperson of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that we are supporting Tanzania, supporting Zimbabwe, supporting the other member states of SADC to appeal for an early removal of the sanctions.
The economical sanction represents a break for the development of all potentiality of economic of the sister or Republic of Zimbabwe. Economical sanction constitutes massive, flagrant, and systematic violence of the human rights. Economical sanction is the economic war.
And a heavy rainstorm has destroyed some houses and unroofed several others in Kamsanga B village, Mnyagala Ward, Tanganyika district, Katavi region, causing more than 30 families to become homeless. The district commissioner of Tanganyika district, Salehe Mhando, has toured the area and urged the residents to build better houses which can withstand rainstorms.
There were strong winds which unroofed some houses. We came out so we could seek shelter. One resident has lost 2 houses and his wife was also injured. If the house structure is weak, it cannot withstand strong winds or flooding.
Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan said there is need for member countries of the Southern Africa Development Community SADC to have a joint strategy aimed at fighting invasive species which have been affecting development growth in all economic sectors. Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan made this statement in Arusha when opening the SADC Environment, Natural Resources and Tourism Ministers meeting.
Changamoto hiyo ni viumbe vamizi wageni au invasive.
One challenge is invasive alien species which could hurt the agricultural sector, fisheries, livestock and tourism. I know there are strategic plans to control such species. However, given the adverse effects of such species, I advise SADC to look at having a unified approach and implementation.
pamoja na mikakati ya utekelezaji wa hima sheria.
In addition to implementation of policies and plans to fight poaching, there is SADC program on reserve areas that cross borders.
And 5 residents from Handeni Street in Samala Ward in Songea District, Ruvuma region escaped death after their house was destroyed by a fire started by an electrical fault. The commander of the Rescue and Fire Brigade in Songea District, John Mpondije, said despite the force facing the challenge of lack of firefighting tools, they managed to put out the fire with the help of residents.
Actually, ni sawa na hakuna kilichookolewa.
Nothing was saved when we arrived at the scene. If the fire brigade and rescue service were there on time, the house could not have burnt down together with property. It took 3 hours for them to get here when it was too late.
Tuna magari mawili pale.
We have two vehicles and both are not working properly, so we had to come in a small vehicle so we could work with the residents to put out the fire.
Na tukiri kama serikali.
2 of our vehicles are not fit for use. One was involved in an accident and the other one is in need of repair.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Simon Siros, warned individuals and groups aiming to disrupt local government elections expected to be held on the 24th of November this year. The IGP gave the warning in Mwanza when addressing residents of Igoma while on his way to Nyamholo to hand over 12 houses constructed for police officers.
Kuna wachache wanafikiri wanaweza kufanya figisu kuharibu uchaguzi.
There is just a few who think that they could disrupt the local government election or the 2020 general election. They should stop immediately because the law will deal with them. Tanzanians are not used to causing trouble, but rather we prefer to take care of our families. If you could give us more officers on night watch, because we volunteered to keep watch, but you can encounter some challenges and you are not appropriately equipped. So you have no choice but to run away.
And Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed Tanzania's embassy in Russia to coordinate plans with Russian businesses interested in investing in Tanzania so that they are connected with relevant institutions and ministries by adhering to requirements of national interest. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa made the statement at the end of a meeting between state and government leaders from Africa and Russia.
Baada ya kuwa tumemaliza kikao hiki cha siku 3, sasa tunaelekea kwenye nchi ya Azerbaijan.
After the 3 days of meeting, we will be going to Azerbaijan, whereby we shall be having a meeting for 2 days with African countries not affiliated with any side. The aim of this meeting will be to look into the welfare of our countries, opportunities and challenges, so we can continue working together. Tanzania is not affiliated with the politics of any country, so we are free, so we can work with any country.
Sisi tunaweza kushirikiana yote.
And President Dr. John Magufuli has given his condolences to the family of veteran politician James Mpalala, who died on the 23rd of October at Herbert Kairuki Memorial Hospital in Dar es Salaam, where he had been receiving medical treatment. President Magufuli, who was accompanied by his wife, Mama Janet Magufuli, gave their condolences to the widow and children of the late Mpalala at his residence in Oyster Bay.
The departed was a very important person in this country. He cared for this nation, and he is well respected. He was the founder of multi-partyism in Tanzania, working with Fundikila. He led multi-partyism revolution, although there were those who tried to cheat him out. But history cannot be changed. He will be remembered in history of Tanzania as that. May God give you strength and keep the unity he built. put God first. More often than not, when there is a gap in the family, Satan enters. You should therefore try your best to defeat the devil. Take care of yourselves so you don't break the family. Take care also of his widow. Be patient. Problems are always there, so you must resolve problems with love, putting God first. He has run his race, but most importantly, he loved God.
That's all for the national news. International news is next. And in international news, the ruling Botswana Democratic Party BDP has won the general elections after securing 29 National Assembly seats, representing 51% of the vote. Botswana voted on Wednesday to elect 57 National Assembly and 490 local government representatives, with the candidate of the winning party set to become president. The main opposition, the Umbrella for Democratic Change, secured 13 seats, while the Botswana Patriotic Front won 3 and the Alliance for Progressive only 1. Observers have said Wednesday's elections went smoothly in one of Africa's most stable countries. And Russian delegations have agreed to establish a Russia-Kenya Business Council to oversee the implementation of joint trade and investment programs. The delegation, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his Russian host Vladimir Putin, met on the sidelines of the first Africa Summit in Sochi.
The pursuit of peace and sustainable security are at the center of Kenya's foreign policy and remains as a strong focus of the African Union agenda. Unfortunately, the world and Africa continue to face growing threats of transnational security challenges manifested through piracy, terrorism, cybersecurity, and trafficking. These situations are compounded by growing ecological fragility caused by climate change, which reduce population resilience and draws on state capacities for effective mitigation.
As a permanent member of the UN Security Council, Russia intends to continue to be an active participant of strategic plan of international community and practical measures in terms of strengthening peace and stability in Africa and ensuring regional security. We are in favor of enhancing the role of African states in settling local conflicts. At the same time, we always follow the principle African solutions to African problems.
And the police disciplinary court in Uganda charged 8 police officers for professional misconduct following the August 28, 2019 kidnap and murder of Maria Nagirinya Gateni and her driver Ronald Kitayimba. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga said officers were charged following an internal misconduct investigation conducted by the Professional Standards Unit, which also recommended that the officers undergo a disciplinary process. And residents of Benin, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, have called on the United Nations to support government efforts in bringing peace in the area. This is due to an increase in killing incidents carried out against them. We only want peace so that we can go out and farm.
Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The governments of Poland and New Zealand, in collaboration with livestock keepers, are implementing a livestock feed production project that will cost 230 million shillings and will enable dairy farmers from Mwikawad, Moshi district in Kilimanjaro region to address the problem of lack of livestock feed. We will build great capacity to store our milk at the factory. Right now, there are large 5,000, 3,000-litre tanks coming to store our milk. You will thus no longer see that Tanga Fresh tank there anymore. We will also add more tanks inside, as well as equipment. A sector we have recognized as a very good collaborative one is agriculture and livestock keeping. This sector is the backbone of the Tanzanian economy because it provides food, which is the most important thing as everyone needs to eat, and it also provides employment. Tour operators from different countries visiting various tourist destinations in Tanzania have advised Tanzania Tourist Board, TTB, to put more emphasis on developing cultural tourism, as it has become one of the attractions enjoyed by a big number of tourists who visit the country. These tourists have visited Mount Kilimanjaro through the helicopter, as well as cultural areas such as the Maasai and Chaga tribes, where they saw their traditions and norms. The main reason we brought these agents here is so that they can see the products, goods and attractions we have in Tanzania, so they can add them to their tourist packages and continue to advertise Tanzania. I think that even the guests learn about our culture as the Maasai. The aim is to promote tourism in Tanzania. Tanzania Bureau of Standards, TBS, has called on producers to adhere to quality standards stipulated by the institution in order to grow markets for their products in and out of the country. Factory owners have a significant input in preparations of standards, and that is why we are here, to recognize their contribution in creating standards. We also commemorate this day due to the President's goal of having an industrialized Tanzania. We decided to use various platforms to provide education on standards. We saw that it was important that the education is provided from the lowest levels. Thus, we went to different schools and provided training on standards. That's the end of business news. Sports news is up next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lend.
And in sports, the Women's Premier League starts tomorrow with games to be played at 6 grounds.
In women's soccer, we have seen teams from different parts of Tanzania. As Ndimbo said, we have added 2 more teams, one of them coming from Ruvuma. You can understand why we are thanking Serengeti for their huge sponsorship in women's soccer.
Simba Sports Club squad has done light training today before heading to Arusha after their 1-0 win against Azam FC at the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam.
John Raphael Boko alipata majeraha kwenye
John Raphael Boko has been injured for a while now, and Shabalala was injured in Rwanda with the national team. Mkude was injured in the game against Sudan. Kapombe has minor health problems, so 4 players will not be in the trip to Arusha. With Boko, Shaba and Mkude, it's only a matter of match fitness. So right now, they're in their own training and they will join their fellows after returning from Shinyanga.
Nicolas Pepe accepts he has had difficulties adapting to life at Arsenal, but hopes his dramatic double intervention in Thursday's 3-2 win over Victoria Guimarães will give him the confidence to thrive in the Premier League.
Arsenal were on the brink of slipping to a deserved defeat against the Portuguese side before Pepe, introduced as a substitute in the 75th minute, struck with 2 brilliant free kicks. The Ivorian had made a slow start since joining from Lille in the summer and is yet to score from open play, but it felt like an arrival for the club record signing. He admitted scoring goals is good for the confidence and reiterated that Unai Emery, who has been accurately aware of the need to get Pepe up to speed, has always backed him.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes Manchester United could definitely play with Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford as centre forwards, with the manager encouraged by how a twin-pronged attack troubled Liverpool.
That game, which had Daniel James partnering Rashford, ended 1-1 last weekend. United are at Norwich on Sunday, where Solskjaer has options if he wishes to field 2 strikers again. That could happen definitely, he said. I thought Marcus and Dan James caused Liverpool problems, so it depends on who's fit. Thursday's Europa League match at Partizan brought United's first away win in 232 days. As against Liverpool, Solskjaer fielded a 3-man defense. The manager has been encouraged by the formation and explained how having 11 players out forced a shape upon him.
Rodri and Alexander Zinchenko are both facing injury layoffs. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has said. Here's more on this story.
Midfielder Rodri hobbled out of City's Champions League clash with Atlanta on Tuesday with a hamstring problem and will be out for the next few weeks. Left-back Zinchenko has undergone minor surgery on a knee problem and could be sidelined for up to 6 weeks. Asked about Zinchenko at a press conference to preview Saturday's Premier League clash with Aston Villa, Guardiola said he had a contact with the knee, felt something in the bone, and has to stop.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching. Have a good night and have a good weekend.
TV, EA TV, Capital TV, Radio 1, East Africa Radio na Capital Radio sasa zinapatikana kupitia satellite Interset 22 uelekeo 72.1 degree east C-band, frequency 3671 MHz, symbol rate 8571 kilosymbol per second, forward error correction 2/3, polarization.
Miaka minne ya serikali ya awamu ya 5.
Sekta binafsi, endeleeni kujiamini, endeleeni kufanya kazi. Muje Tanzania, hapa ni mahali salama kwa uwekezaji. Tunawahitaji leo, tuliwahitaji juzi, tutawahitaji kesho kutwa, tutawahitaji miaka yote, kwa sababu Tanzania iko hapa kwa miaka yote.
Huyu ndiye JPM.
Habari za usiku huu muhisani mtazamaji ITV. Karibu kipindi cha Mlumbano ya Hoja, kipindi kinachokuijia kila Alhamisi muda kama huu. Hii leo karibisha hapa studioni Hemedi Kivuyo, mwenzangu ni
Juma Kapalatu. Asante sana mtazamaji wa ITV, msikilizaji wa Capital Radio na mtazamaji wa Radio 1, msikilizaji wa Radio 1. Hiki ni kipindi cha Mlumbano ya Hoja na kinakuwa na mada ambayo tunaweka mezani. Siku leo tumeweka mada inasema kwamba kukamata bidhaa feki na kuziteketeza. Je, elimu inatolewa na kuzitambua kwa wananchi? Tunajaribu kuangalia kwa wananchi zaidi. Wananchi wanauelewa wote kuhusiana na ukamataji wa bidhaa na kwenda kuziteketeza. Na bahati nzuri siku leo Medi katika meza kuu imesheni wahusika ambao wanafanya shughuli hizi kila siku. Pamoja na meza kuu pia wako wahusika wengine ambao hawana meza kuu, wako pamoja na wachangiaji, lakini pia wanahusika kwa namna moja ama nyingine katika kutoa ufafanuzi tunachokizungumza. Katika meza kuu tuna wageni wawili. Pamoja kwamba mpo wengi lakini tutawatambulisha wawili. Tunaye Gervas Kaisi ambaye ni kaimu mkurugenzi wa udhibiti wa ubora TBS Gervas.
Asante sana.
Pia tunaye Bi Hadija Ngasongwa, yeye anatoka FCC. Karibu sana Bi Hadija. Asante sana. Jina lake liacha. Tutazungumza kukamata bidhaa feki na kuziteketeza. Je, elimu inatolewa kuzitambua? Hilo ndio swali ambapo